Starting off lying down on your backside, we'll just kind of check in with our body before we start our Pilates party. Again, for today, I am using a Pilates ball. If you'd like, you could use one. You could also use a block or a rolled up towel or nothing, right? Any option is great, but just make sure you keep on moving your body. All right, so props going off to the side. We'll just lie down on our backside to check in with our body. Starting with your breath, take a nice strong inhale in through your nose, and then a nice purposeful exhale out through your mouth. As you breathe in through your nose, just think about filling up the ribs to the front, the sides, and the back. And then as you breathe out, feel your abs work to assist that nice purposeful exhale. And we'll go ahead, place our hands on the frontmost bony parts of our hip bones and just kind of start to tilt your pelvis forward so your hands get a little closer to your thighs. And then tuck the tailbone, rock the pelvis back. So now the hands get a little bit closer to the ribs. So we'll go inhale, push the hips forward, hands get closer to your thighs. And then exhale, tuck the tailbone, scoop the belly button in, pull the hips back. We'll get two more like that. Inhale to rock forward, and then exhale to rock back. So we're kind of exaggerating from neutral to imprint, right? Going past neutral to that forward rock, and then past imprint to really smashing our back in towards the floor. From here, we're gonna find neutral pelvis. So the hip bone should be lined up with our pubic bone. So if you were to place your thumbs on the frontmost bony part of your hip bones and then your fingers on your pelvis to make a little diamond shape, they should all be on a nice flat line. Alrighty, from here, we've got that nice neutral pelvis. We're gonna feel for the ribs, maybe even placing our hands on our ribs, and think about drawing the rib cage down and in to press the backside of your ribs up against the mat. So keeping the pelvis where it is, we've just made that connection with our ribs. And then we'll place our arms down by our sides. Feel for the backs of your shoulder blades pressing evenly into the mat. And it's a lot to think about, right? We're still maintaining that nice neutral pelvis, our rib cage connection, and now our shoulder blades staying nice and even. We'll feel for the back of our head. Just move your head a little bit side to side, making sure there's no tension between your neck and your shoulders. And then finding a nice neutral spot for your head. Gaze up at the ceiling. Make sure you're not looking back behind you at the back wall. You're not looking down at the tops of your knees, but just looking straight up towards the ceiling. From here, we'll just go ahead, take a nice big inhale. On your exhale, just nod your chin to your chest. Now you get to look at the tops of your knees. And then inhale, look right back up at the ceiling. We'll do that again. Exhale, nod your chin to your chest. Feel the back of your neck stretch out. And then inhale, look back up at the ceiling. Now the front of our neck goes back to neutral. Do that 2 more times and just kind of be mindful of what's happening at your shoulders and happening within your neck muscles, right? We want to make sure we're not tensing up our neck and shoulders as we gaze at the tops of the knees, and then keeping that nice relaxed state as we look back up. Next time you nod your chin to your chest, hold it there. We're going to stretch the fingertips forward, peel your head and shoulders up away from the floor, rolling up into your nice C curve here. Take a big inhale in, and then exhale, slowly roll your shoulders back down. On your inhale, you look back up at the ceiling, head touches down. So exhale, nod your chin to your chest, curl your body forward. Inhale, we hold here. We're just gazing right above the tops of the knees. And then exhale, we roll everything back down. Inhale to look up at the ceiling. Last one here. Exhale, slight nod, roll it up. Inhale, we hold. And then exhale, we roll everything back down. All right, so we're gonna reach over for our prop. We're gonna get started right away. If we're using a prop, you're gonna lift your hips up into a bridge and then place the ball right underneath your tailbone. All right, so if we are using a block, this may not feel too comfortable, so it'll still be a great workout doing it without the prop for this part. And then if the ball gives you any tension in your lower back, feel free to do this without the ball as well. All right, so from here, we're gonna think imprint spine now that our hips are a little bit elevated and we are gonna be lifting up our legs. So think about lifting up through your pelvic floor muscles, pulling your belly button in, and just feel your abs wrap around your torso to really give you that nice strong connection. From here, right foot's gonna come up into tabletop position. We're keeping our hips even, so we haven't shifted over to the left. Take a nice big inhale, straighten out your right leg right out in front. Lift your right leg up to the sky, and then bend your knee back to tabletop. So it'll be an inhale to stretch out, exhale to lift, and then bend the knee when you get to the top. Couple more like that. We stretch it out, we lift up, and we bend and bring it back in. All we're doing is warming up our hips, but we're also creating that little bit of pelvis instability, right? With the ball or the prop underneath our hips. And of course, with one leg doing one thing, the other leg doing something else. So we're being really mindful of what's happening with our hips, working to keep our hips nice and even as we draw these little circles with our right leg. Next time your right leg lifts straight up, let's just hold it right there. Keeping your leg straight, you're gonna lower straight down, bend your knee in tabletop, and then lift up. So it'll be an inhale to lower, exhale, bend your knee, and then lift it straight up. Goal is to keep the left leg as still as we can, keep our hips as even as we can. And that's where the ball comes in handy, because every time you feel the ball wiggle, you're like, did the ball wiggle me or did I wiggle the ball? Uh-oh, gotta be my pelvic stability. Where are my abs? Where are my pelvic floor muscles to help me stay nice and even? And just try to minimize that ball movement. All right, next time our right leg straight up in the sky, we'll hold it right there. We're gonna draw some circles. So we'll open our right leg out to the side just a little bit, lower it down a little bit, scoop it into the center, and lift up. We're starting with super small circles because, of course, as we take our leg out to the side, you'll notice that your left leg wants to go out to the opposite side. Your hips want to move one way and our ribs want to move another way. So we're just really trying to figure out how much our muscles have to work to help us maintain stability while we try to make these circles a little bit bigger. You've got two more circles in this direction, just going as big as you can maintain control through your core. And we'll get one more in this direction. And then we'll bring our leg all the way back up to the center, and we go the other way. We go straight down the center, open up out to the side, and then lift up. Once we've got that pattern with our right leg, we're checking out our left leg. We're checking out our hips and our ribs, and then what's happening with my neck and shoulders? Are my shoulders starting to curl forward, creep up by my ears? We'll get two more circles here. And then one more. And from here, bend your right leg, set your foot down on the floor. Go ahead, bring the soles of your feet together, knees apart. Stretch out those hips. And our right hips halfway warmed up. We're on to the left side. All right, so knees coming back to center. Maybe we need to readjust the ball if we kind of moved around a little bit. Again, we want it pretty much underneath our tailbone. We're thinking imprint spine, so belly button draws in. Left foot comes up into tabletop position. We take a nice big inhale, stretch your left leg out long. Exhale, lift your left leg up to the sky, and then bend your knee when you get to the top. So we stretch out long, we lift. Think about your knee being right on top of your hip as you bend your knee down into tabletop. All right, so first few, maybe we're a little bit more wiggly as we're trying to figure out how many muscles, right, how much our muscles have to engage to work here. And then once we've got that, we really work on the stability happening through our core as our left leg does this little dance. All right, we've got two more in this direction. Stretch it out nice and long. Lift it up and then bend it in. And then last one, lift up and hold it right there. Opposite direction. We lower the left leg down, bend your left knee in, and stretch it up to the sky. So nice inhale to lower. Exhale, we bend and lift it all the way up. Really trying to make a nice smooth movement with the left leg. And then working our stability through the rest of our body. Last two here, we lower and then bend and lift. And last one, and bring it all the way up. And you're right, it's time for our circles. Here we go. We'll open up a little bit out to the left, lower down a little bit, and then scoop it up through the center. First one's always the most challenging because our body doesn't realize how much work it is just to draw a little circle, right? So my right leg's like, oh yeah, I gotta engage and make sure I'm keeping my leg nice and still. My abs are like, oh my gosh, the left leg's so heavy, but I'm gonna resist that urge to lean over to the left. We've got about 3 more circles in this direction. Checking in with our neck and our shoulders, not adding tension anywhere else in our body just to create this movement. And we'll bring our leg all the way up and we get to go the other way. Lower straight down the center, open up to the side and bring it up. And then we lower, open up only as wide as we can maintain stability and bring it up. And we've got just a few more here, just thinking about warming up our left hip. Ooh. Last 2. And then last one. Alrighty, from here, bend your left knee, set your foot down on the floor, bring the soles of your feet together, open up your knees. Ooh. Alrighty, so we tried out some single leg work. Now we're on to double leg work, okay? So bringing the knees back together. Again, feel free to adjust the ball as needed. Find that sweet spot. Just make sure you're not directly underneath your lower back, right? Because then our abs don't get as much work. We're gonna take our right foot up in tabletop and our left foot up in tabletop. Now it's super crucial that we're in our imprint spine, right? Belly button draws in, lifting up through the pelvic floor muscles. We'll bring our heels together, our toes and knees slightly apart. Knees don't need to go any wider than our hips, right? So we're not all the way out here. We're just stacking the knees on top of the hips, but they're pointing out towards the sides. Ooh, I lost my core stability there. All right, so from here, we'll take a nice big inhale. On your exhale, just straighten out your legs. Find either a 45-degree angle or maybe the legs are straight up in the sky. From here, inhale, bend your knees back to tabletop. So exhale, we straighten out the legs. And then inhale, we bend the knees and bring it in. You may notice that as you straighten out your legs, your abs have to work a little bit harder because the further our feet are away from our body, the heavier they get and the more the abs have to resist that urge to pop up out of imprint. So we're just kind of feeling out how much our abs have to work as our legs lengthen out. We're gonna go for 3 more here. Exhale to stretch it out and then inhale to bend it back in. And we'll go 2 more. Reach and then pull. And this time we straighten out, let's just hold it there. Turn your legs to parallel, so all 10 toes pointing in the same direction. Inhale, lift your legs straight up to the sky. And then exhale, lower your legs back down. So inhale, we lift up. As we lower the legs down, make sure your hips and your belly button don't pop out, okay? So really think about that lift through the pelvic floor and that pull in through the belly button. For me, that means I don't take my legs super low because the lower my legs go, the more my hips want to rock forward and my belly button wants to pop out. And so I'm just making sure to work within a nice, safe range of motion where I'm able to keep my back safe and keep my abs in control. Next time our legs lift up, we'll just hold it right there. Flex your feet, open your legs out wide to the sides, point your toes, connect your legs at the top. So we flex and open, we're still in parallel, and we point and lift up. So as we open our legs out to the sides, they may try to rotate out laterally like we did with our little bend and stretch, but our goal is to keep the hips nice and even, keep them in parallel. So working to keep all 10 toes pointing in the same direction throughout. We'll go for 4. Inhale to open up, and then exhale to close. And we've got 3. And we close, making sure both legs are opening up the same amount, right? We're not leaning heavy on the right or the left. And then next time we open, we close, and we bring it all the way up. Bend your left knee, bend your right, set your feet down on the floor, and then lift your hips up, take the ball out. Woo! All right, we're gonna place the ball in between your knees next. If you have a block, this one would be good to use a block or a towel for. So it's just going to give us a little bit of inner thigh connection, right? And our inner thighs feed into our pelvic floor muscles, which just help with stability. So now the ball is our friend, finally. Okay. So we'll go ahead, place our hands behind our head, feet are flat on the floor, and we're gonna find neutral spine again. So we were in imprint when we were on the ball. Now we're finding that little space between our lower back and our mat, and a position where the hip bones and the pubic bone are all in the same place. Hands come up above or up behind our head, and our ribs keep pulling down towards the hips. We'll take a nice big inhale in here, pressing our head into our hands and our hands into our head. On your exhale, nod your chin to your chest and curl your body up to meet your leg. Inhale, we just hold here. And then exhale, we roll everything back down. We'll do that again. Big inhale here. Exhale, nod your chin, curl your body up. Taking a look at the tops of your knees or maybe the prop in between your knees. And then we lower everything back down. We're going to get two more like that. Exhale, we curl it up. And then exhale, we lower back down. And we'll get this last one. Exhale, roll it up and hold it right there. All right, so finding that nice C curve, we're peeling the shoulders up away from the floor, pulling our ribs in towards our hips. See if you can pull your belly button in here and find imprint spine. And then inhale, kind of loosen the hips out to neutral. So upper body stays still, but we find that nice pelvic floor and ab connection, finding imprint. And then inhale, we let it go with the lower half. Last two, exhale, imprint spine through the hips. And then inhale, neutral spine. And then last one, we're just pulling in, lifting up, and then inhale, lower everything back down. Arms are going to come out to your sides to make a T out from your body. You could also make like an A shape if you'd like, if that feels better through the shoulders. I'm going palms facing down, but you could also try palms facing up, right? Been getting in a lot of extra laptop time, right, with all our safer at home, so my shoulders are rounding forward. So I'm really trying to open up the chest, open up the collarbone. Feet are flat and we're in neutral spine. We've got bridges coming up. Take a nice big inhale. On your exhale, squeeze your glutes, lift your hips up away from the floor. Inhale, we hold at the top. Maybe you give your prop a little squeeze. And then exhale, lower your hips back down to neutral spine. It's an inhale to get ready. Exhale, we lift up. Feel the glutes wrap around your hips. The hips open up through the front. And then exhale, we lower everything back down. We're going to go for 4 more here. Exhale, we lift up, warming up the glutes. And then inhale, we lower everything back down. Last 3, exhale, squeeze and lift. And then inhale, exhale, lower back down. Last 2, we lift up. And then we lower back down. Next time you lift up, just hold it there. Exhale to lift the hips up and hold it there. We've got little squeezes on our prop. If we're not using a prop, squeeze the inner thighs together and release. Little tiny squeezes, keeping the hips up the same height no matter how tight or how not tight we're squeezing onto our prop. We've got 4 more here. Keep squeezing the glutes. And 3, think about those inner thighs pulling in towards each other. Last 2. And then last 1. And from here, we find a nice neutral position. Lower the hips all the way down. Arms are going to reach up overhead. We'll take a nice big inhale in here. On your exhale, nod your chin forward, curl your body up. Arms come down by your sides. And then inhale, we roll everything back down. Last 3, exhale, we curl it forward. And then inhale, we roll back down. Really articulating through the spine. First the head lifts, then the shoulders, then the ribs. Then the ribs go down, then the shoulders, and then the head. Next time we lift up, we'll hold it right there. Exhale to roll up and hold. Finding imprint spine, we lift our feet up into tabletop position. From here, we lower the head and shoulders back down, arms reach up overhead. And then exhale, we come back up to meet the legs in tabletop. If this is feeling like a little bit too much for your neck, feel free to place your hands behind your head, just like we did earlier, giving your neck a little bit more support. Next time we curl up, we'll hold it there. Exhale, curl up and hold. We've got little squeezes on the ball, little tiny squeezes. We're checking out the ball, right? We're looking and we're like, oh man, I might pop you today, prop. Can you curl up a little bit higher in that C curve? Yeah, you got it. 3. Ooh, and 2, pull And then last one. And then roll everything down. Set your feet down. Woo! Okay. We're going to take the ball and place it right underneath your right foot. All right, and you can do this with the block as well too. There'll just be one little tweak we'll do in a little bit, okay? So from here, we're gonna start back on our bridges, back in our neutral spine. Arms can be down by your side, or if you're like in that wider stretched out position, feel free to take the arms out wide. All right, from here, we take a nice big inhale. Exhale, squeeze your glutes and just lift your hips up. And then inhale, just lower your hips right back down. So now we've got bridges with one foot elevated and challenging our pelvic stability, right? So making sure that we're still lifting our hips up the same height, still keeping both knees tracking straight forward and really working evenly through the legs, even though one leg may be getting a little bit more hamstring work than the other. We've got about 4 more here. Feeling the abs assist with the motion. The ribs wrap around to really stabilize our spine. Last 2. And then last one. We lift up and just hold it right there. Alrighty, so if you're on a block, you're going to send your right leg straight up to the sky and then bring it back down to tap your prop, okay? If you're on the ball, you'll slide your right leg forward and then slide it back in, right? And if you're not using a prop, you'll do the same thing as the block. You'll send your leg straight up. Just thought we were building a little bit of a burn in our left leg, really challenging our abs to keep our back lifted, keep our torso supported, and then we're just gliding in and out. We've got 4 more here. What's happening with your neck and shoulders? Make sure there's no tension happening up there, right? How can I relax a little bit more? Woo. Last 2. And then last 1, bend your right leg, bring it back into your bridge. We're still in our bridge. We've just got little pulses up and down with our hips. Trying to press both feet as even as we can. Keeping our knees tracking straight forward, and we're just breathing. We've got 3. Woo, and 2. And last one, hips up, and then lower everything all the way down. All right, so right foot staying on our prop, left foot's coming up in the tabletop. We're back to our hip mobility, okay? Try to keep the right leg as still as you can. Take a nice big inhale. On your exhale, straighten out your left leg. And then inhale, bend your left leg and bring it in. So we push it out, and then we bring it in. Right leg's just cruising, right? Main goal of the right leg is stability and stillness, okay? Wanting to keep the hips even though one foot's lifted, one leg's moving around. We're still working that pelvic stability, so good core challenge. Last 2 here, we stretch and then pull. Straighten out your left leg and hold it there. Let's try lift and lower. So we lift up the left leg and then lower down. We lift and then lower. Only taking our left leg as low as we can keep our hips even, right? Don't let the belly button puff up. We're gonna take our hands behind our head. Still lifting and lowering. All right, as you lift up your left leg, curl up into your C curve, twist the right elbow over to the left leg. Come back to center as the left leg lowers. So we curl up and twist over, and then we lower back down everything. We've got 5, and back to center, and then 4, and center. Last 3, and center. Last 2, and center. Last one, curl it up and hold it there. We're gonna reach our right hand outside of our left ankle. Little pulses trying to lift up towards that left ankle. We've got 3. And 2, reach. Last 1, bring your hand behind your head. Come back to center and lower all the way down. Whew. Bend your left knee, set your foot down on the floor. Pass the ball over to the left leg, right? Left leg's turn to have some fun. All right. Arms can be out wide or down by our sides. Finding neutral spine again. Now we're adjusting now that we've got the left foot elevated and the right foot on the floor, okay? Taking that big inhale, exhale, squeeze your glutes, lift your hips up. And then inhale, we lower everything back down. There's 1 out of 8. Exhale, we lift. And then inhale to lower. Knees are tracking straight forward. Hips are going up to the same height, right? Don't want the left hip going up higher just because it's on the ball. We're working on evenness. We've got about 4 more here. Exhale, lift. And then inhale, lower. And we'll go 3. And then lower. Oh, last 2. And we bring it down. Next time we lift up, we hold it there. So remember, if you're on a block or not using a prop, left leg's going straight up to the sky. If you're on the ball, you slide your left leg forward and then pull it back in. We're working on keeping everything else as still as we can, right? Hips don't change height just because we're sending the left leg up or out. And right knee keeps tracking straight forward. Shoulders aren't creeping up by our ears. We'll go 4 here, stretch and pull, and 3, and pull. Last 2, and bring it in. Last 1, bring it in, find your bridge. We've just got those little pulses up and down, feeling our glutes wrap around, and release. We've got 5, and then 4, and we're still going 3, last 2, and then last 1, hips up, big inhale, exhale, lower everything down. All right, so back into neutral spine. Now we get to work a little mobility with our right leg, taking our right leg up in the tabletop position, big inhale, exhale, straighten out, and then bring it back in. So we stretch it out nice and long and bring it in, working on stability through the rest of our body, and then that little bit of mobility through our right leg. We're gonna go for 5 more here. We stretch and pull it in. And then 4, keep pressing that left foot down into the prop. Last 3, and 2, and last 1, stretch it out and hold it there. Take a big inhale, just take it all in. Exhale, lift that. Inhale to lower, and then exhale to lift. Right now, we're just testing out how low we can take our leg while still maintaining neutral spine, right? While not letting the belly button puff up or the ribs rock forward. We've got 3 more till we get to add in a little bit more fun. Last 2. And then next time you lift up, hold it there. Hands come behind your head. Take a big breath in. Exhale, curl forward. Twist your left elbow over to your right leg. Inhale, back to center. Lower the right leg down. Exhale, twist up and over. Inhale, back to center and lower. And then exhale, bring it up and over. So we're thinking about bringing our left rib over to our right hip. Really rotating as we come up. We've got 3 more here. Up and back down. 2 more. Up and down. Last one. Bring it up. Hold it there. Stretch that left arm up towards your right ankle. Little pulses. Reach, reach, reach. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And come back to center all the way down. Bend your right leg. Set your foot down on the floor. Oh. All right, so prop is gonna come in between our knees next. We'll reach our arms up overhead and just kind of stretch your legs out. They don't have to go all the way to straight, but as straight as feels comfortable. We've got our Pilates roll up next. We'll be rolling through the spine, rolling into imprint to lift up, okay? Nice big inhale, exhale, nod your chin to your chest, curl your body forward, peel your shoulders up, feel the pelvis rock back to find imprint and come all the way up to seated. Whew. Okay, nap time's over. We're finally up and ready to work out, okay? So we're gonna keep the ball right in between our knees, okay? We're gonna do some halfway roll downs next. And how far we roll down is just gonna be determined on what our back's telling us, right? So if the lower we go down, we start to feel tension in our lower back, then we don't go down as low, right? Even if we're upright, sitting is not easy, right? It's a lot of ab work. So even if you stay up tall and do the exercises, it's still gonna be a good core workout, okay? So we'll do a little practice run and see how far back our body wants to go. I'm gonna just draw a little circle with my arms. Feet are resting either flat on the floor or you can have heels down, toes up. Taking a nice big inhale, exhale, you're gonna tuck your tailbone, roll your body back just an inch or two. And then inhale, we roll everything back up, stack your ribs right on top of your hips. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, roll your body back. Think about creating like a C shape with your spine. And then inhale, restack, bring everything back up. We'll get 2 more like that. Exhale to rock it back, roll back. And then inhale, roll it back up. And then next time we roll back, we'll hold it there. Exhale to roll back and hold, finding your C curve shape for today. Take a nice big inhale. On your exhale, you're gonna bend your right arm and twist over to the right. And then inhale, come back to the center to that C curve. Exhale, we twist over to the left. And then inhale, back to center. So if adding in rotation makes us a little bit too much for your spine, bring it all the way back up to seated and try rotation from a seated position and see if that feels a little bit better, right? Because sometimes the flexion and the rotation can be just a little too much for our spine. No need to push past or push through the pain. We're just working to mobilize our body and keep us nice and strong. We've got 2 more on each side. We rotate over, back to center. Our gaze is following our elbow as we twist. And we'll get 1 more, rotate over, back to center. Last one on the left. Back to center, stack your spine up. Oh, place your hands behind your legs and just kind of do a little cat-cow. Round your back and then stretch it out. And we round and we lengthen. That's 1 out of 3 sets, okay? Round and lengthen, and then 1 more, round it and lengthen. All right, so sitting back up, we'll draw that circle with our arms. Taking a big inhale in, exhale, tuck your tailbone, roll your body back to your C curve. From here, we're gonna keep this nice C curve shape, right? And all of our C's look a little bit different, but that's what's so awesome, right? Taking a nice big inhale, exhale, we're gonna open our right arm over to the right, only as much as we can keep everything else still. And then inhale, bring the right arm back in. And then exhale, the left arm opens up. And we bring it back in. We're trying to give somebody a 1-armed hug. We open up to the side and then back to center. And then we open out to the side and back to center. See if you can scoop your belly button in a little bit more, right? Make a purposeful effort to pull the belly button in, lift up through those pelvic floor muscles to just really, really keep that C curve shape nice and strong. We're gonna get 2 more on each side. Nice, we open up our arm, everything else stays still, and back to center. We're just checking out our toes, and back to center. Last one, right arm opens, and then back to center. Scoop the belly button in, left arm opens, back to center. Restack your spine, hands come behind. We'll reach our chest forward, and then round it back in, and we lengthen. And then round, we'll get 1 more. Lengthen forward and then round it back. We restack our spine. This will be our 3rd and final set. All right, arms drawing that big circle. We're sitting up tall. Nice big inhale. Exhale, tuck your tailbone, roll your body back. All right, so we've been working on stability. We're gonna keep working that stability. All you're gonna do is open both arms out, maybe just as wide as your mat, and then bring them back in. And then we see if we can go like 1 inch or 2 wider than our mat, and then bring it back in. Don't forget, we're scooping the belly button in, making a nice strong connection between our ribs and our hips to help us stay in control through our spine. We just open and close. We're gonna go 3 more here. Open up the arms and then bring them back in. And we've got 2 more. And more, open. And then bring everything back in, roll it up, nice and slow. And go ahead, just fold over your legs, take a little breather. Hoo, hoo, hoo. Yahoo. All right, so we'll go ahead, take the ball out. We're gonna make our way onto our hands and knees next, okay? Ball can go off to the side. All righty. So balls going off to the side. We're just getting started off on our hands and knees, just a little change of scenery, change of pace, okay? From here, I'm gonna take my right hand right behind my head, And I'm gonna open up over to the right side, like twisting over to the right, opening up through my chest. And then I come back to center, place my right arm down. Left hand comes behind your head. You're gonna open up over to the left, rotating through the ribs. And then coming back to center, set your left arm down. We'll do that again. Right arm, open up to the right. Coming back to center and trying out the left. Left arm over. Coming back to center and lowering down. Adding on this time, right hand comes behind. We open up over to the right. As we come back to center, you're going to reach your right arm underneath your left arm, thread the needle, reach behind and over. And then open back up. Right hand comes behind your head. Open up your chest. And then thread the needle, reach under, reach back behind. And then open back up. Last two here, open up. And then back to center, we twist and reach. And then last one, we open up. And then come back to center, reach under. As we come back to the middle, right hand plants down. Left hand comes behind our head. It's a nice inhale, open up your chest, twist over to the left. Exhale, thread the needle, reach under. Inhale, we open up. Oh, big stretch. And then exhale, we stretch the opposite, the back side. Last two, inhale, open. And then exhale, reach, reach, reach. And one more, inhale, open. And then exhale, we reach it under. Whew. All right, from here, left hand plants down. We're gonna push our hips back by our heels, stretch your arms out nice and long. Think about trying to stretch your armpits, right? So reach your fingers forward, but pull the shoulders back and really stretch out through those upper arms. Alrighty, from here, we roll our body forward. If we're using a ball, we can play with the ball for this next move. If not, just doing hands will be better than using a block, okay? So we're gonna make our way all the way down onto our belly, okay? Lying face down on the mat. Hands will either be out in front of us on the ball, or they can be out in front of us on the floor, okay? We're looking down at the floor, taking a nice big inhale. Start to slowly lift your head and your chest up away from the floor. And then exhale, chest and head come back down. All right. So if we're using the ball, we're just slowly rolling the ball in towards our body. It barely moves like an inch or two. And then it slowly rolls back out. If we're using our hands, same thing. The hands just glide along the mat. And then they glide back out, right? And it's a very small movement because it's not an exercise for our arms. It's an exercise for our spine. So we're just seeing where our spine's at today. How much are we lifting through the upper back? If we're feeling tension in our lower back, try to go a little bit lower and really feel the upper back muscles work. And then notice that shift when the lower back muscles take over. We'll get two more here. It's an inhale to lengthen and lift up. And then exhale to let it all go. And then one more, we inhale, lengthen and lift. And then exhale, we lower back down. If we're using the ball, you'll place your hands on the sides of the ball. If you're using the floor, you can just rest your hands on the floor. We're gonna keep our head down for this next part. Our legs are extended out nice and long. Take a nice big inhale, exhale, just lift your right leg up away from the floor. Make sure right hip bone's still pushing down into your mat. And then inhale, lower your right leg back down. Exhale, the left leg lifts up. And then inhale, we lower it back down. We're gonna go right leg up again. And then lower, and left leg up. And lower. This time when the right leg lifts up, hold it there. Right foot's just hovering right above the floor. And then bring your left leg to join your right leg, okay? Our legs don't actually have to touch, but they're just floating in space. We can feel our glutes working and then really try to push your belly button into the floor to kind of lengthen out your lower back a little bit. From here, we're gonna flutter kick the feet. So right leg lifts a little, left leg lifts a little, and we're just kind of switching places in space of one being a little higher, one being a little lower. We're still looking down at the mat. We're just kicking the feet for 3. And for 2, keep pushing your belly button into the floor. Last one, bring the legs back to center and then lower everything down. All right, so we've got our option 1 and our option 2, right? Option 1 is the upper body lengthening. Option 2 are the lower body kicking, okay? Option 3, we put everything together. So I'll talk us through putting everything together. Hands would come back on top of the ball if we're using that prop. On your inhale, we'd lift up the head and the chest and hold it there. Really important that we're not too high up, so that way we find a position we can maintain. We can either hold here or we can lift the legs up to hover. If we're lifting the legs up to hover, we can try out our little kicks. All right, if this is too much, having the upper body up, try taking the upper body down and working those kicks like we just did. We've got 4 and 3, 2 and 1. Lower the legs, lower the upper body, roll it out. We'll do that again. Inhale, we lift up the upper body, lift up the legs. Exhale, 4 kicks. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then lower everything back down. Inhale, we lengthen and lift up. We kick 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, hold. Exhale, lower everything back down. Last 2. Inhale, we lengthen and lift. Exhale, kick 4, kick 3, kick 2, kick 1. Inhale, hold. Exhale, lower everything back down. Last one, inhale, lengthen and lift up, and we kick 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it steady, and then lower everything down. Whoo. All right, when you're ready, we're gonna make our way back into a child's pose, all right? Pushing your hips back towards your heels, stretching out the armpits. Just take a nice long breather. All right, so making our way back up onto our hands and knees. For this next exercise, if you have the ball, that'll be great to use. If not, I would just go prop free, okay? You're gonna take the prop, place it underneath your right knee, and we're gonna make our way onto our hands and knees. You could also totally do this on your forearms and knees, okay? All right, from here, you do want your right toes pushing down into the floor. So we wanna make sure our right foot's not just wiggling around, but that it's giving us a little bit of support. We're gonna stretch our left leg out nice and long back behind us. Lift your chest up away from the floor and gaze out just past your fingers. And then bend your left knee, bring it into hover right next to that right leg. And then stretch it out nice and long and bring it in. So this is just like when we were working to maintain stability while supine or while lying down on our back. Now we're trying to keep our hips nice and even though one knee is on a ball and one leg is just floating in space, okay? We're gonna go 3 more. Stretch it out and then bring it in. And we've got 2 more. And bring it in. And then 1 more. Bring it in, lower the left leg down, and let's try the other side. Ball comes underneath the left knee. Alrighty, again, we want the left toes pushing down into the floor. Think about trying to get your shoulders either right on top of your wrists, maybe they're like a centimeter behind, but we don't want to go too far forward. Lifting up, sending the right leg back behind. Make sure we don't collapse into the upper body. Inhale, bend your right leg, pull it in. And then exhale, stretch it back out. So we pull the right leg in, and then we lengthen and stretch back out. We've got a few more here. Keep thinking about lifting your chest up away from the floor. And don't forget about the tension that we can create between our neck and shoulders that we're absolutely trying to avoid. We've got 3 more. Stretch. And then bring it in. And 2 more. And bring it in. And then last one. And bring it in. Lower the right leg down. Switch the ball back over to the right leg. All right, so there's our option 1, layer 1. If we want an option 2, we add in the opposite arm. All right, so getting set up on our hands and knees. We stretch the left leg out long, reach the right arm forward. All right, from here we pull everything back in to hover, and then we stretch it back out. So it's so tempting to just plop our hand or our leg down, but we're really trying to challenge our core here, so maybe we're hovering. If we need to, of course, we can tap down, right? The floor is right there if we need it. Whew. We're gonna go for 3 more. Bring it in, and then exhale, stretch it out. And 2 more. And then 1 more. And then set your right hand down. Bring your left leg in. Switch the ball over to the other side. So all these fun ways to challenge our core stability, right? All righty. So this time the right leg lifts up to hover. We stretch it back, and then we stretch the left arm out nice and long. It's an inhale to bring everything into hover, and then exhale to stretch it out. Just because we're on one arm doesn't mean we can collapse our chest down towards the floor. Keep thinking about lifting up away from your right arm, making sure we're looking out past the right fingertips. We've got 4 and 3. Last 2. And then last 1. Oh, all right, left hand comes down, right leg follows. We take the ball out. Oh, and then we earned a little bit of lying down time. Yay, finally, right? Oh my gosh. All righty, so we're gonna go side lying for this next part. You can place the ball or like a rolled up towel underneath your bottom right ankle, okay? Or your bottom ankle. Doesn't matter which side you're on, we'll get both sides. Alrighty, so bottom leg's gonna be on the prop. Block maybe a little ouchy on your ankle, so just kind of see how that feels. Bottom arm, we can just kind of lie down, right? Since this is our break, you could use your bicep as a pillow. You could use your hand as a pillow as well too, okay? Stacking our hips one on top of the other, legs are stacked. We'll take a nice big inhale, lift up your top leg, and then inhale, we lower back down. All right, that's it. Exhale, lift, and then inhale, lower. I got a couple more, just lifting up and then lowering down. As we're lifting up, think about pressing your bottom leg into the ball or that rolled up towel, and then keeping your hips nice and even. We're gonna go for 4 and 3. Last 2. And next time we lift up, we just hold it there, pointing our toes so we can draw some nice small circles with our top left leg. Really important that the bottom leg's pushing down into the floor, pushing down into our prop so we get a little bit more stability. And we go 3 and 2. And then we take those circles the other way. Nice, smooth, controlled circles around. Really pushing our bottom leg into the prop. Don't move, bottom leg. My hips want to shake all over. That's why I'm giving you feedback because, my body. Come on, 3 and 2. And then 1, we hold it right there. You're gonna bend your knee, bend your top elbow, and then stretch it out. All right, so double crunch it in, and then stretch it back out. Can you bend your knee and elbow while pressing your bottom leg into the ball? We've got 4 here. We bring it in, and stretch it out. Last 3, and last 2, and last 1. Stretch it out, and then we're gonna lower our bottom arm all the way down so that our head rests on our bicep, okay? Top arm's gonna be like a little kickstand for us, and we're gonna go from this side lying position into teaser. Sounds crazy, but it's actually gonna be so much fun, okay? So bottom arm is gonna slide along our mat. We'll take a nice big inhale to get ready. On your exhale, start to lift up through the head. As you do so, start to pull your bottom arm in towards your body and then lower everything back down. All right, we'll do that again. Our head lifts up, we slide our bottom arm in, our top leg's gonna lift up too, and then we lower everything back down. We'll get 2 more like that. Inhale to lengthen and lift, And then exhale to lower back down. This time when we lift it up, let's just hold it there. We're gonna rock back onto our top hip. So we're gonna come to a seated position, lifting up that top leg a little bit higher, rolling the ball in. And then we're gonna go back to side lying. So roll your hips back forward and come all the way down onto your side. What? Okay, don't worry, we'll do it again. Here we go. Inhale, we start with the crown of our head. We lift up and reach out. Think about reaching your top arm and leg towards each other. As you do so, roll back onto that top hip, come all the way up to seated and keep reaching towards that top leg. From here, we roll all the way back down to side lying. Woo, we've got two more. Here we go. Inhale, we lift, lift, lift. As we lift, we roll onto both glutes, reaching forward. And then we roll everything back down. We're going to get one more here. Inhale, we lift up. Exhale, we roll over and reach up. And then inhale, we lower everything down. And we get to do it all on the other side. Yahoo! Don't worry, that's homework. That way next week I'll record everybody and we'll have like a Pilates party for sure, right? While we're all doing the same movement. I know, can't wait, can't wait. All right, so we're going side lying, opposite leg. That top leg is now on top of the prop. If we're using a prop, we can have our hand as a little pillow or bicep, right? Whatever feels best for your neck. We're starting off with the hips stacked on top of each other, toes pointed, nice big inhale. Exhale, lift up your top leg, and then inhale, lower. All right, all we're doing are those leg lifts, just warming up our outer hip, and then making sure the bottom leg is really actively pressing down into our prop or down into the floor to help us find that stability. We've got about 5 here. And then 4. Last 3. And 2. And then we lift up and we just hold it right there. Finding that nice strong base with our bottom leg, we draw some small circles with our top leg. All right, teeny, teeny, tiny circles just drawing around. Trying to keep the bottom leg as still as we can, feeling the abs work to help us stabilize our hips. And then we go circles in the other direction. Nice, small, tiny circles. Nice, we'll go 4 and 3. Last 2. And then hold it there. Top arm reaches up overhead. We go knee to elbow, crunch it in. And then stretch back out. Ooh, wobbly on this side. Bring it in. And then stretch it out. Really thinking about the ribs and hips coming together just as much as the knees and the elbows. Ooh, we've got 3 more. And bring it in. Last 2. And in. Whoa, last one. And stretch it out. Lengthen out your bottom arm. Allow that top arm to either be right in front or it can reach overhead, whatever feels best. But we're starting with that little roll up prep, okay? Nice big inhale. We lift up the head. We slide our body halfway up, lifting up the top leg. And then we lower everything back down. We'll do that again. Just warming up here. Inhale to lift. And then exhale to go back down. Last 2. Inhale, we lift. And then exhale back down. We're going to add in the top arm. Inhale, we reach up towards that top leg. Rotate onto both sit bones so that way we're reaching for that top leg. And then we roll back to the bottom of hip. Whew, and come all the way back down. Oh my gosh, 3 more. Inhale, we lengthen, lifting up, peeling our torso up, reaching for the top leg. We're all the way up in a seated position. Both hips are even on the floor. And then we roll everything back down to our side lying position again. Last 2. Inhale, we lengthen, we roll, 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 lifting up that top leg, lengthening up through our spine. And then we roll everything back down. Last one, best one. Inhale, we lengthen and lift up. Exhale, sit up just a little bit taller. And then inhale, lower your top leg down. Oh, put your prop off to the side. And we'll come up to a seated position. Okay, I'm so excited to see how much you guys practice it. If you want to send me videos of like, this is my practice, how's it looking? I'd be happy to, to give you some feedback. I know, it's a fun one. It's so hard to give feedback via the computer. So if you send me like a personal video, I'll give you feedback, promise. All right, let's find a nice seated position. We're gonna take our right leg nice and long out in front of us, okay? So sitting up nice and tall, we'll take a nice big inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. On your exhale, go ahead, fold forward, reaching out for your foot, okay? Reach your chest forward. And then exhale, round your back and just kind of collapse down towards your leg. And then inhale, reach your chest forward towards your foot again. And then exhale, round it back down. We'll get one more here. Inhale, we lengthen and stretch. And then exhale, we roll it back down. From here, start to walk your hands up along your leg, rolling your spine back up to seated. Head's the last thing to come up. Oh, and we'll switch sides. Left leg comes out in front, right leg can bend in. And feel free, if there's a more comfortable way of doing the stretch, feel free, okay? Big inhale, arms reach up. And then exhale, we fold it over. Nice big inhale in here, we're reaching the chest forward. And then exhale, round your spine down towards your leg. And then inhale, we lengthen and reach forward. And exhale, we round and collapse. So we'll get one more here. Inhale to lengthen. And then exhale to round. From here, start to walk your hands in, up along your leg, rolling it up nice and slow. All right, we'll take both legs out nice and long. You're gonna make a V shape with your legs. So if you're going like long ways with your mat, maybe your feet are as wide as your mat, okay? Arms are gonna lengthen out nice and long. We're sitting up nice and tall. Big inhale in here. Exhale, we're gonna twist over to the right. So twisting over to the right. And then inhale, we come back to center. Exhale, we twist over to the left. And then inhale, back to center. Twisting over to the right, hold it there. You're gonna reach your left pinky over towards your right pinky toe, okay? So we're rotating and reaching. From here, we restack the spine and then come back to center. And we'll go the other way. Twisting over to the left, right pinky goes over towards the left little toe and we reach it out. Coming back, lifting up the spine and then twist back to center. Arms reach up here, big inhale, exhale, fold forward, reach as far forward as you can, and then round your back, grabbing onto feet, ankles, knees, and just kind of folding over and relaxing here. Whew. We'll take a nice big inhale. On your exhale, walk your hands in towards your thighs, roll your body all the way up. Nice and tall. All right, so I'm gonna go comfortable seated position, either legs crossed, or you could do like your mermaid position, or if it feels better with your legs long, that works too. I'll just take a nice big inhale, kind of roll your shoulders back, like, ooh, I did create a little bit of tension in my shoulders, right? Never the goal, but happens sometimes, right? We're always working on something. We'll take a nice big inhale, reach your right arm up and over to the left. Exhale, sweep across the front. And then inhale, left arm reaches up and over. And then exhale, sweep it across the front. And we'll get one more here. Big inhale, reach up. Exhale, sweep across the front. And then left arm reach. And exhale, sweep. And then roll it up. Nice and slow. Roll your shoulders back. Ooh, and that's a wrap for our Saturday morning Pilates party. Yahoo!